Yeah, so there's been a lot of trailers that have dropped, so we got plenty to talk about.
Are we recording it or no?
We've been recording.
Okay,
What trailers? Well,
Hang on a second. Now, it's like before we get into any of this shit, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to the Dragoon's Lair podcast. I am the Blue Dragoon himself, Daniel the Dragon, and with me is a larger-than-life packed show. We have Do Not Wave Until You Are Introduced. I'm gonna start pulling the reins on this one now. With me, as per usual, we have King Hamster Pellet himself, Mike Schiavo.
What is shaking, people?
We have the family man himself, Jimmy Haynes.
Howdy.
And returning from the abyss, we have Doug.
hey, what's going on?
Yep.
We got to think of something for Doug, because I'm King
I'm
Hamster Pellet.
good.
He's the family man, and we
I'm
have
good, just Doug, man.
That's
Doug.
We got to think of something
Just
for
Doug.
Doug.
Listen.
Doug. Limu
My name
Emu
is
and
Doug.
Doug.
D. Call
Just
me D.
Doug.
We don't have
Hi, D.
Limu Emo here.
Call me D.
No, we're calling you these. No,
Nah, you don't call me that.
no, we're not doing
Okay,
that.
bring it down. Simmer down now. Simmer down.
And am I getting hazard pay for sitting between these two?
No.
We get paid?
Yeah.
Wait a second. It's my show. I'm not even getting paid. You're getting paid for this? What are you talking about?
Oh, shit.
Hazard pay.
Did I say that out loud? To our one secret sponsors.
We have
not like-
sponsors?
Fuck, I said it. Damn it.
It's not like when he got paid dummy
too late
worms
to
during
call
the
in sick?
filming of his video.
It's Jimmy. Calm down. No.
Is it too late to call in sick?
Yes. You might want to just speak up a little
Is
louder.
it too late to call in sick?
Yeah, you're screwed.
Yeah, you're already here. It's too late. You're stuck.
Fuck.
That's what happens when you hitch a ride with the hamster pellet.
You'll get here eventually.
Eventually is right.
Eventually.
So
Come up with that name.
now we've had a lot of trailers that have dropped recently. I don't know. Did you guys see the Beetlejuice trailer?
Yes.
Yes.
Now, what did you guys think of the Beetlejuice trailer?
I liked it. I don't know, reminiscent of the first one a little bit. Not exactly sure, because in the first one, I wouldn't know if you would call Beetlejuice the villain, but he kind of seems like he's not in that role anymore. It seems like Monica Bellucci is kind of like the villain in it. So I'm not sure if he's the hero, if he's the anti-hero, if he's just kind of down the middle. I don't see him being as mischievous as he was in the first one, but it piqued my interest.
Well, it seems like it's going to be interesting because it's like they're going to need to at least explain where the original two ghosts are.
Right.
Because they're gone. We don't see them, so it's like, did they cross over? Like, we need like at least to get an explanation of that.
I think you're going to hear that they crossed over somewhere in between, or they could be working in the office that you see where all the dead people go.
Yeah,
You're talking about Gina Davis and Alec Baldwin's character.
yeah,
Yeah.
Because we're not gonna see them. It doesn't look like it.
Well, you might. I wouldn't be surprised having them
A cameo?
or at least Gina Davis pop up in a post or mid-credit scene.
Yeah, I mean it'll be interesting because we need to see like where they ended up. But I mean, you're right. It does look like we're kind of confused as to where Beetlejuice kind of lies in everything. Because right now it was like he wasn't really the villain of the movie.
Right, but he was like the antagonist.
Yeah, he was like a secondary antagonist because it was more like Otho seemed more like the because it's like the family wants to just they're gutting the house, destroying everything to remodel it into this weird postmodern art style shit. So it's like it was very interesting, and I think it's going to be fun to see like Jenna Ortega like as the daughter of Winona Ryder. It's like they've got such a great cast, and it was nice to see like in the trailer you get that back shot where now you see like the bat wings and all the crazy shit coming out of Michael Keaton's face. So it's like, and we see it from behind, so we still don't know what the full extent looks like.
You see him kind of like, you see Beetlejuice kind of like doing like more of characters. Like he showed up with Freud one time.
Yeah.
And, you know, it looks interesting. I mean, when the first one came out, I wasn't a huge fan of it because it just didn't, you know, it's a Tim Burton film. Either you love him or you hate him.
Yeah.
You know, there's no middle of the road. So I was leaning towards it was an okay film. Looking at this one, I'm like, okay, it piqued my interest a little bit.
Yeah, the original, we were never sure, but it was something that grabbed a hold of a kid's attention.
Yeah.
And now as an adult, all these years later, it's like the movie holds up as an entertaining movie, but a sequel, I didn't even think we were ever going to get this.
No.
So, Jimmy, what are your impressions?
I still, let me tell you, I'm still impressed with the movie. I'm still impressed with Burton coming out with anything, especially him now with Michael Keaton again. It's good to see. Good to see Winona Ryder, bringing in Jenna Ortega to the mix. Catherine O'Hara still in the cast.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Makes me laugh.
Yeah. So, Doug, what about you?
It's got that old school feel. I feel like, it's going to hold up. Maybe be even more fun. They're going to be adding a lot of stuff in there. Cast, excellent. I'm excited for the old school people coming back in.
Yep.
So, this is one I'm waiting for.
Oh, yeah. This is definitely a movie that it's getting hype. And this is one that makes me want to go to the theaters to see.
Is this an August or September release?
September.
Yeah.
I think that's a good time for a movie like this to be released.
Yeah.
It kind of falls before Halloween.
Before Halloween? Not even that.
But it's getting everyone, back to school.
Right. Because if it would have been released during the summer, I don't think it has enough nostalgia to get the summer money. But if you release it towards the end of the summer, like Jimmy said, everybody's going back to school. Okay, we just worked. We're back to school. We want to go to the movies on a weekend.
Not only that, but also you figure they don't want to get killed because in July, the second that Deadpool and Wolverine is out,
that's taking over everything.
I got a funny feeling that's going to be the movie we're going to see number one at the box office throughout the end of July into the end of August.
Without a doubt, they're already selling tickets for it.
Release on that until maybe November, December.
Yeah, that one's going to be a long take on the digital version. I mean, what is it? Right now, what was it? I think Fall Guy already is a digital release on Amazon for a rental. I think Civil War just dropped that weird movie where it's the
second Civil War.
Yeah, not Marvel Civil War, just crazy Civil War.
Civil War.
Yeah.
Madam Web is on Netflix.
Yeah, no one was surprised on that one. Listen, I didn't hate Madam Web, but I also didn't love Madam Web. It was only slightly better than Morbius, and that's not saying a lot.
The only good thing about Morbius was the end credits scene with Michael Keaton.
No, it actually wasn't because it made no fucking sense. You have to realize, okay, everybody it's like they went to another universe. They were all going to one universe. Michael Keaton goes to a different one, and he's still there. Meanwhile, Venom and Eddie Brock left at the end of Spider-Man No Way Home. They were pulled right back to their own universe, except for a small piece of Venom. So it's like, okay, maybe we could get Venom off of that, but it's like, really? You're going to start with the Vulture in another universe with a different Spider-Man. Madam Web made no sense because of the fact that they changed over where it was supposed to be Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man was supposed to be that universe's Spider-Man, and they're like, no, we'll stick with Tom Holland, so we got to take away all the references that would have put it in the time frame, and it was a clusterfuck.
I'm going cross-eyed already, so.
Yeah, listen, it's going to be bad, and Sony is already proving that they're going to make a huge mistake because they're going to release Kraven, and that one looks terrible as well.
Ooh, I'll get bit by a lion. I get lion powers.
Yeah, it's like
the blood drops through that.
We're going back to the the late 90s, early 2000s of you're going to get powers just from an animal. It's like, really? Mm-hmm. You're just basically tapping into the horrible Halle Berry Catwoman movie that we're all trying to scrub from our brains.
I mean, I've gotten bitten by mosquitoes 1,000 times. How come I don't have wings? What the hell?
I can't.
That's the logic that these people are following. How come we're not flying around? Because we've all been bitten by mosquitoes.
Yeah, well,
we've all been bitten by spiders. I mean, what the hell?
Or he kissed anybody and gave him the West Nile virus.
We don't know. We haven't kept track of that one, and I don't want to keep track of that.
But I will say one thing, too. Just getting back to just to end it on the kibosh with all these Spider-Verse and the Sony movies, it's like they want to keep making these trash Marvel movies so Marvel and Disney do not buy the right.
No, they just don't want to lose the rights.
Yeah.
They're making a bunch of movies to keep the characters when it's, in essence, it's like just work with Marvel, because when they work with Marvel, they actually get a good script, a good movie. When they don't, we get crap.
You get Madam Web.
You get Madam Web. You get Morbius. Listen, I like, what is it, Aaron Taylor Johnson, who's playing Craven. He's a good actor.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I loved him in Kick-Ass, and it's like real.
He was good in Runaway Train too.
Yeah, he's done some great performances.
Yeah.
But this is like, oh my God, this is fucking stupid.
I think he just did this for the paycheck.
Oh yeah, it really feels like it's a paycheck movie.
From watching the trailer, there are a few good one-liners that he has. Like when he's sitting in the office and a guy comes walking in and goes, "Where's Dimitri?" or whatever. He goes, "Oh, you're standing in him."
Yeah.
And then he shoots him. I mean, there are some good one-liners in there, but
I'll
you
wait
for the book to come out.
You can't make an entire movie out of nothing but one-liners.
Yeah. That's why I said I'll wait for the book to come out.
Yeah, I mean, but at least we got like that fun little teaser that's starting now before some of the movies with Deadpool and Wolverine. Silence your cell phones.
Silence your fucking cell phone. Shut up your fucking ass.
You know what? Seeing Hugh Jackman cursing up a storm as Wolverine
and having Deadpool be the versatile reason.
Yeah, it really, that was one of those moments where you're just like, thank you. This should be in front of every movie from now on. I don't need
even if it's not a Marvel movie, just put it in there.
Yeah, I don't need the M&Ms coming out and telling us to silence our cell phones anymore. That needs to be the standard bearer for silence your cell phones.
Either that or that one they did with Chevy Chase, where the guy's talking to him, he takes out a megaphone and blasts in his ear, "Put your phone away!"
No, you know what? I just don't want to see Chevy Chase anymore.
Chevy Chase is fun. You can't get wrong with Chevy.
Yeah, you can. He's terrible.
I'm Chevy Chased out, even on Community.
Every Chevy Chase movie, if he's the star, it's bad.
Fletch, great movie. Fletch Lives.
Christmas Vacation.
Any of the vacation movies.
What, you're running off of nostalgia here?
Hey.
Listen, there's a reason why he's been considered so problematic they don't even want him on Saturday Night Live anymore.
Because of his alcohol problem.
It's not just his alcohol problems. He's an asshole. He's been a problem. What was it? Joe McHale has said in interviews that he got into physical altercations with them during Community.
He had problems with John Belushi, and Belushi wrote about it in Wired.
Chevy, I love you. I am not part of this.
But okay, you could be an asshole off camera, but still put in a great performance.
Did you watch Community? Everybody else was great. He was the worst part. You could tell he didn't want to be there. Thank God they killed off his character, because it's like they're doing the reunion movie, and I want to see this when it comes out.
Yes.
Okay, that's one. Name two of the bad ones that he did.
God. Let's see. You want to go through all the vacation movies? Let's see. Vegas Vacation was literally fucking terrible.
It was okay.
It was not okay.
Putting a chicken on a rock to cook it, that was bad.
It was terrible.
The first two were great.
Listen, you want to go off of a Christmas Vacation and Vacation? Fine. Then as everything they expanded with him, terrible.
European was great. I liked it. I liked it.
You could like it, but it's not the same. It's
Under
the same.
the Rainbow was bad with him.
Yeah. That one was. Yeah.
Yes.
That was under the radar.
Yeah. Yeah, that's one of the reasons why it was terrible. And we could talk about his terrible failed talk show, because that was awful.
That was supposed to be like
that was totally trash.
Saturday Night Live with him.
Yeah, and
when he was on Weekend Review or the newscast, he was funny on that.
Somewhat, but when somebody else is writing your material, you're going to probably do a better job. When it's his own stuff, he doesn't hold up.
I am now looking forward, no joke, to Jason Reitman's movie SNL 1975.
Yeah,
I'm so looking forward.
That's going to be one that should be very interesting.
Yes.
And what is that going to be theatrical or online?
No, that's going to be in the theaters.
Yeah.
When is that coming out?
If not the end of the year, at least by next year.
Yeah, there's no
He's been working on it.
Yeah, there's no set date, but I think they've already done filming.
Yes.
Yeah, the film.
In it?
I'll check it out.
Yeah, let Jimmy check that out. In the meantime,
because I follow Jason Reitman on Instagram. So
I want to do a shout out to our friend Danielle for that Bridgerton Bridgerton
There you
video.
go. Yep.
I watched it. Now I gotta see it. Now I gotta see. That was a beautiful breakdown by her.
Yep. Yes, it was.
What was that? Clove Lakes Park. What was that?
Yeah, that was Clove Lake Park.
Yeah, that was a pitch perfect background. The trees, the bridge.
Yep.
But shout out to Danielle. Thank you for that beautiful breakdown. Now I want to watch the show.
Oh yeah, she did an amazing job, and the dramatic telling definitely it re-sparked me having to go back and finish season 2 before season 3 finished, because I left off at like after the fourth episode. It's only 8 episodes.
The way she jumped in the video.
Yeah. Oh, that was her idea. I just liked it. I kept it in there. No, she did a phenomenal job, and hopefully people will check that out. Not going to talk Bridgerton this episode, but that'll be planned a little later. But yeah, so I mean, we do have to bring up one thing that Jimmy had sent to my attention in between the last episode and this one, was the passing of Roger Corman. Yeah, Roger Corman, a legend as a producer and like minor actor. He passed away, and we lost a talent, because I was looking through his IMDb list of the movies he was affiliated with and produced. I didn't even realize how many he did. It's like he is literally one of those guys that you don't realize how long a filmography he has.
He was at Comic-Con this past year, and the line for him was literally wrapped around the Javits Center.
Yeah.
Even Dabney Coleman just passed away, and we could have...
What?
Yeah.
I knew he was sick. I didn't know he passed
Yeah.
away.
Yeah, he just passed away, and as of today, Morgan Spurlock.
Right?
I can't hear you.
Corman. He was in War Games? No.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Roger Corman, War Games, but you figure he produced like so many movies. I'm looking through. I didn't even realize like those Black Scorpion movies. There was a series. I thought it was just one. There's like 4 of them.
Jesus.
He put out so many movies throughout the 80s, the 90s. Like, if you think about going to the mom and pop video stores before Blockbuster was a thing.
Chances are you're getting a Roger Corman.
Yeah, you threw a rock in there and you were picking up a movie from him, and you didn't even realize it was him who produced this. So I got to give a shout out, because it's a real sad thing for his passing.
And he's even, in a funny way, crazy way, he's even affiliated with the Marvel Universe with his rendition of the Fantastic Four.
Yep.
Right.
The unreleased Fantastic Four.
The unreleased that everybody has.
The direct to bootleg.
80s? That was it?
Yeah.
Late 80s. Yeah, late 80s, early 90s. The
only person that I realized, or that I recognize from, is the guy who played Human Torch.
Which, when he finally goes into full Human Torch, it's a cartoon.
Yeah.
Because they put like a bag over him.
Yeah, it was bad.
Yep.
Almost as bad as having Michael B. Jordan play Human Torch and setting a black man on fire. There you go.
Listen,
That's right, I said it.
You know what? No, I'm gonna say it now. I was worried when I first saw that, and I'm like, you're gonna have a black man being set on fire. The only thing worse would be if they made Johnny Storm not just a black man, but a gay black man, because all he has to do is say "flame on," and it's gonna be a really bad joke.
Hey,
Every flag would be up.
Right?
Yep.
Rob. He was like, really? He goes, a black man is going to set a black man on fire on the screen. I was like, oh, shit, you're right.
Yeah, him and I had that exact same thought. It was one of those things where it was like, just a bad idea in general.
Well, that's another example of Fox putting out a shitty film to keep the rights.
Yeah.
They rushed that into production. They didn't have to make money on it. They just had to make it.
Even though the previous films weren't...
Okay.
They were okay.
The first one was good. The second one...
First one wasn't good.
Horrible.
It just was... It was passable.
Right, passable.
But it was... Michael Chiklis did a phenomenal job, and I love that the practical effect of having him in the costume.
Which was all... Some things practical is so much better than CGI and special
Which
effects.
is one thing that we can loop back around to Beetlejuice, because you can see the practical effects for the sandworms and stuff. So seeing those practical effects, that is one of those key elements that I've missed in a lot of movies.
It makes it feel more real.
Yeah.
For some strange reason.
Well, it also doesn't help when you're watching a movie and you see the blood splatter from a gunshot, and the blood splatter is all CG. So I get it. It helps with like the cleanup and stuff, so you don't have to worry about it. But it looks so fake and bad.
If you worry about cleanup, just budget better for maintenance and custodial
Well,
staff.
just get better like secondary costumes and stuff to replace it.
And don't let Alec Baldwin near any guns.
I'm not touching that one with a 20-foot pole. That one's all Mike, you know.
That's right, I said it.
I'll say some offensive stuff, but that one was all you.
Yeah.
You know, the only thing more offensive that I've heard lately is how Jake Paul's going to kill Mike Tyson.
Yeah, right. What?
Why? Why? Just because he saw Tyson Fury lose, he thinks, I got a shot. No, you don't.
No,
Get out of here.
Newsflash: Tyson's gonna knock that fucking guy out.
Yeah,
We all know that.
Listen, the thing.
Tyson is a beast. You see
Oh
that
yeah.
train?
Oh, absolutely. But you have to realize, you look at Jake Paul, he knew he was going to get knocked out so quickly that at 200 pounds, he just crammed so much food down his system. When you look at him, he looks like his gut is extended because he's dirty bulking.
Yeah.
It looks terrible.
It's like, what was that movie that Digstown? Was it
Yeah, Digstown.
Yeah.
The other one where one of the Wayans brothers gained all that weight.
The Great White Hype?
Yeah, that
You drive
he's doing what he's doing with that movie.
Yes. This fight really is the Great White Hype.
It's the Great White Hype, but it also better be not that Family Guy episode where Stewie beats the shit out of Brian because he bet on Tyson because Carol Channing let Tyson beat the crap out of him.
That was a weird celebrity fight like that they put in there, and Carol Channing just taking the abuse.
Come on, you little bitch, take me on.
Do you drive a Merlot Broham?
Nope.
A Merlot
Get
Broham?
back to
Oh,
that.
Brom.
Any bet I place is going to be on Tyson.
Well, that's
I
the
know.
That's
That's a 6-2 bet.
anyone with a brain at 57 years old. Tyson is still in top form. This guy is moving around.
Right mind.
Oh,
Yeah.
And the thing is, and people have pointed this out, Jake Paul has been trying to intimidate Mike Tyson.
You don't intimidate
It's
Mike.
not working, but he brought up his kids.
You don't do
That's
that.
a mistake.
That's not
No.
intimidating you. That's
You don't
pissing
do
him
that.
off.
Yeah, that's why Tyson's like, I like this kid, but I've already told him, when you step in that ring, you need to fight like your life is on the line because it is. Mm-hmm. And let's just be real. Anyone who ever played Mike Tyson's Punch-Out,
Yeah, forget it.
Yeah.
it's like,
One and done.
yeah,
Yeah.
if you made it there on your own without using a game genie, you basically went, and if you couldn't avoid one hit,
You're done.
you got knocked out from the first hit. You were lucky if you were able to even get up for a second shot.
The only way Paul has any type of chance is if he can survive the first 3 rounds. Because you look back at Tyson's fights, he's pretty much he'll pound you in the first 3. The longer it goes, the more favorable it is for Paul because Tyson was never a distance fighter.
Yeah, but the thing is, he doesn't need to be. Because if he hits him one body shot,
I'm just
no,
saying,
one body shot from Tyson is all it's going to take for Paul to be completely winded.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look at any previous Tyson fight, he comes in, his low center of gravity, he's going to hit him once, not take him off balance, and then that uppercut, he's done.
Right. I'm just saying, if he can avoid that.
They're 2-minute, 8 rounds, 2 minutes apiece. It's not going to take that long.
No,
Not even 5 minutes.
And if he pisses him off enough, Paul might be walking out without an ear.
Paul might not be walking out.
walking out.
Paul's not even walking out.
He's going to be going out in a stretcher, but he might be missing a body part
but
or two.
wait a minute. A stretcher in the design of a prime bottle.
No, that's the casket that his
Going out
brother's
with the
paying
doggy
for.
That's better.
Let's face it, it's like, you know what? He doesn't even want to support his own brother's Prime. That tells you how shitty that is.
Yeah.
I love crapping on Prime because it is one of the worst products that you could put out there, that you're seriously going to call your drink Prime. But you need an energy drink and a hydration multiplier, but you can't make them look completely different, because that's why you're getting sued, because you're giving kids something with so much caffeine because they think they're getting the hydration multiplier, because you can't tell them apart. You know what? Not sponsored. Drink Liquid IV. They've repackaged. The new packaging looks amazing. I would so much rather drink Liquid IV and actually have a hydration multiplier than fucking Prime.
You would rather drink Gatorade Light? Drink 2 glasses of water. Boom.
Got 2. Hydro water.
Drink 2 glasses of water.
Yeah.
Go nuts. Drink 4. They're free. Turn on the tap. They're free.
The hydro bottles now?
Get that box of water.
Well, I don't need an alkaline thing to alkaline the water. Come on. When my hand goes up, your mouth goes shut. I got these two going off. Not you, Doug, but these two.
We're having fun talking about boxes.
No kidding, but we gotta ring it.
Hydro water bottle that's coming out. And the technology looks sweet on that one.
Listen, there's so many different bottles of water that like people are buying. And let's face it, it's going to be the whole thing with Stanley bottles again, where it's like, oh, look, it survived an impact. Yeah, and they still fucking leak. So it doesn't matter. You're spending how much money on these bottles to carry around, these tumblers, cups, and where are they all going to be? They're going to be sitting in the cupboards because people are going to forget about them, or now they need the new and latest one.
Yeah,
it's like the way Apple pushes a new iPhone. It's basically, hey, you got to get the new one. You got to get the new one. Why? The one I have works just fine.
Or get a Droid. It's 5 years ahead of Apple anyway.
Yeah, and if you need a water bottle, hey, not sponsored, go to a Five Below. You can get a bunch of different water bottles and have more than enough. And you will, what, 10, 20 bucks? You get maybe 5?
You get a case, dude.
Yeah, 4 or 5 of them from Five Below.
Ladies and gentlemen, when you listen to us, you save some money
you get
at the same
hydrated.
time.
Yeah.
And hydrated.
Don't forget to drink your water, folks. Now, with that being said, Mike, let's go over the best of AEW for the past couple weeks.
All right. What you got? Everything is leading up to Sunday's pay-per-view, Double or Nothing, which is the...
Is it a pay-per-view or is it a premium live event? I'm confused with this.
No, that's a pay-per-view.
Pay-per-view.
Okay.
The pay-per-view, you order it.
Yeah.
There you go. This marks the 5th anniversary. This is kind of like their WrestleMania, which is like, you know, they're not really their big event, but this is the one that started it all. They started in Vegas at Double or Nothing, and that's where I believe it's going to be until AEW folds. You know, everything is setting up for Sunday. You had originally, it's the Young Bucks and Kateshka. I just brutalized his name. Okada. Some Japanese name.
Takeshka's facing Moxley.
They all look the same. And then you had, it was FTR. It was originally FTR, Bryan Danielson, and Eddie Kingston. Eddie Kingston legitimately got hurt. They don't expect him back until 25. So, like, okay, who's the new partner going to be? They bring out Darby Allin. Would give Allin a little more time to heal because he had his ankle operated on. And as he's recovering, dude is in Manhattan. He gets hit by a bus. I'm not even making that up. Dude gets hit by... How the fuck do you get hit by a bus? I mean, you don't see the thing coming at you? You're on crutches. You're not moving too fast, Darby. The hell?
Maybe he's an anime fan and thought he was going to get isekai'd into another world by Truck-kun. That's the best I can give you on that one.
I mean, he put up pictures of him, like, after. His nose was broken, 2 black eyes. I was like, dude, put yourself in a bubble. All right? But they brought in Darby Allin, so now that looks like a decent match. Setting up Adam Copeland versus House of Black. This past week, we had Malachi Black in the ring. And, you know, usually when the House of Black is screwing with somebody at the end of the match, lights go out, they're around the ring or whatever. So Malachi's in the ring, lights go out. Everybody thinking, oh, it's going to be Copeland, lights come back on. No one is around. And then they drop on Malachi what only looks like melted cranberry sauce. It looked like melted cranberry sauce. They dumped it all over him. He's sliding all over the ring, which is hysterical because he couldn't. It was so slippery you couldn't even stand up. And then you see like Copeland on the screen, like laughing or whatever.
Had to be the end of the night.
No, it wasn't. They had matches after that, which was, and they cleaned the ring. They cleaned the ring within like an inch of its life.
Damn.
Which was props to the ring crew because you got that shit done. Because it was, I mean, it got over the announce table.
Yeah,
Taz is like,
it got to the announce table.
Yeah, Taz is like, we're covered in this stuff. This is what I don't know what it is, but we're covered in it. So setting up that, you have the main event is Christian Cage. Yeah, Christian Cage versus Swerve Strickland for the AEW Championship. It's going to be a good match, but I don't see giving Christian a push like this. I don't know, maybe because Adam held the title, they're going to give Christian a push. I don't know. There's other people that would have, I think, put on an even better match than one with Christian. But the main event is going to be Swerve Strickland versus Christian Cage. I see Swerve walking away with the title and possibly setting up a match. Maybe you see Hangman come back because the two of them had issues in the past. Maybe that's setting up pay-per-view down the line. Maybe in Wimbledon, rematch Page and Swerve for the title again. Don't know. I got to check it out on Sunday.
All right. So, Jimmy, now, WWE, what do you got for the best of for the past 2 weeks?
Past 2 weeks, they've been qualifying everybody for the King and Queen of the Ring. 1 o'clock tomorrow on, which is a premium live event.
Tomorrow, remember, we air these episodes on Sunday. So you mean the night before?
The night before, that's true.
Yeah, so you can watch the replay on Peacock for a premium live event because I can't tell the difference anymore.
No. No.
So,
by the way, you can go to, not Chuck E. Cheese, what's the names at the
Dave
moment?
and Buster?
Dave and Buster's is the official for AEW.
yeah.
Wow.
So now, back to, the Saudi.
It's now to the point where it's Gunther either facing RKO or Tamatanga tomorrow for the King of the Ring. And then you got Nia Jax or the EST facing Lila Valkyria. Valkyria. And that looks like it can be a good match either way with everything, as long as it's not Nia Jax.
As long as Nia doesn't hurt somebody again.
Yeah. The female Scott Steiner.
Yeah. My hole!
You got, speaking of Logan Paul facing Cody Rhodes for the title.
Now, are they turning Code's heel?
There's rumors of that and everything, but no one knows on that part. But we'll all wait and see on that. And then you're going to also have Chad Gable facing Sami Zayn, and that looks pretty good. We'll see.
Remember, that's a triple threat. So that's Sami Zayn versus Chad Gable and Bronson Reed.
Yep. That's going to be a good match. Hopefully, we'll see how the Alpha Academy fits into this, because he's been treating him like crap, Mr. Gable. And we'll go from there. Becky Lynch she's still nursing her husband's wounds and everything. But our lovely champion has now been threatened by Drew McIntyre that he wants a shot. So I wouldn't be too surprised at Clash of the Castle coming up in the next couple of weeks if he accepts if Damian Priest does accept it there for him.
Well, you do know that Triple H did make an announcement recently that the winners of the King and Queen of the Ring are actually going to get the opportunity to face off against the champion of their respective brands. So whoever wins, if it's the Raw, they're going after the World Championship. If it's the SmackDown, it's going to be the Universal.
I wouldn't be too shocked if you see Gunther win and he goes into Germany, into Berlin. For that, he cashes in there.
Well, at least now the King and Queen of the Ring has some stakes other than just getting a crown.
Yeah. Well, the last time that happened was Lesnar, but that was how long ago? Otherwise, it's nothing. It hasn't been anything.
So, speaking of nursing wounds, have you guys followed Buddy Matthews on Instagram?
No.
Well, as some of you may or may not know, Buddy Matthews is actually engaged to Rhea Ripley. And I guess they're on vacation or somewhere together because she's injured, and I guess he took time off because whatever. But anyway, they took a picture of the two of them on the beach, and it's just him laying with his head on Rhea's ass, and he has the biggest shit-eating grin on his face. And that motherfucker is the luckiest son of a bitch on the planet.
Well, considering the fact that thanks to the fans, they broke the internet from just a house show of Rhea when she took on Nia Jax and gives Nia a stink face because she hiked up her tights to do it right in honor of Rikishi.
Yep.
And no one has been able to stop talking about that one. Although Damian Priest's WrestleMania win kind of had a weird twist on Twitter. They weren't actually it wasn't trending for Damian Priest. It was Gay Undertaker.
Yes.
Gay Undertaker?
Yes.
Yep.
The Gay Undertaker.
People are saying how Damian Priest is similar to the Undertaker because of the movesets that he's doing and stuff.
Yeah.
But he's more
Flamboyant?
We'll go with flamboyant. Gender fluid or gender neutral, however you want to call it.
Flamboyant.
Non-binary?
Yeah, so
Call him al-binary.
Non-binary.
Non-binary.
Yeah, so yeah, this is going to be weird, and I can't wait for these fucking Saudi shows to be done with.
Agreed. But from like I've heard him say, Tokyo has been eyed on the map for a while after these Jeddah contracts are up.
Yeah, well, they also just recently announced that SmackDown's going to be moving to USA
Again?
later on this year. No, that's permanent.
No, but they moved around so much.
No, it's 100%. It's going
No,
to.
I'm saying it's going to happen. I'm saying they moved SmackDown around.
No, but it's moving with a reason. You got to remember what's happening next year. WWE is taking Raw to Netflix. So every week it's going to be Monday Night Raw is going to be able to be watched everywhere through Netflix. So you're getting that. They need to put something else. So SmackDown is moving, staying on Friday nights, but it's going to be on USA.
So it's going from Fox to USA.
Yep.
So USA is going to have a huge hole to fill Monday nights.
Well, 3 hours. I'm pretty sure they can find something to fill that with.
Yeah, but they...
3 hours of programming that now they don't have to go up against football or some of the other sports at that point. And let's face it, that also means on a Friday night we don't have to worry about, we're going to have to move it to FS1 because, there's a game on.
The baseball's on. Yep. They'll probably
Which might. So how are the Rangers doing, by the way?
Oh, as of this recording, they are getting set to play game 2 this evening on a Friday.
Against Florida Panthers?
Against the Florida Panthers. Eastern Conference Finals Game 2 is being done at the day of this recording. Right now, they're down 1-0. They lost the first game 3-0. The first goal that Igor let in, it could have gone either way. It was a screenshot off of his shoulder in the net. Nothing you can do about it. Okay. The second goal that he let in came off of Lafreniere's own stick. He went to go deflect it away, but he hit it, and it went right between Igor's legs, and it looked like a comedy of errors. The Rangers really didn't have too many shots on goal. And then, this is something I don't agree with. They pulled the goalie with 3 minutes left to go in the third period. If you have they didn't do much on the power play.
Yeah.
Florida controlled the puck 90% of the game. If you don't have puck possession, if you cannot control the puck, do not pull the goalie.
Yeah.
One person up is not going to make a difference if they were on the power play.
Well, this has been a very weird hockey season. Normally we don't talk about hockey, but this has been one that it's I was watching one of the before we got into the the playoffs. It was, what was it? The start of the game is just beginning. And both teams start fighting within 2 seconds.
Well, I know that happened a few years ago.
Yeah, no, this
the
was
Rangers and the Devils.
They
pulled the fourth line out, and they just started beating the shit out of it.
Oh no, two lines completely gone. I'm like, what the hell?
I remember that game. I think it was I want to say Dallas.
No, but I'm talking about a couple months ago.
I think it was Dallas versus somebody. I'm not exactly sure, but they dropped. Puck was dropped. 2 seconds later, the gloves were dropped. Everybody squared off, and the referee said, "Screw this." 2 lines, 10-minute game misconducts.
Yeah,
kicked them out.
Well, I want everyone to know that we're going. What is it? The boys are coming back to Amazon Prime for the new season. Mm-hmm. Starts in June. We will be discussing The Boys.
Yeah, boys.
So that we have no choice. This is a mandate coming from high above. Yes. Homelander told me if I don't do this, we're fucked.
You're getting fried.
Yeah. So, he doesn't want. I don't want him putting us in a cage with the deep.
Cunt.
They still didn't drop him in the new Mortal Kombat 1. I've been waiting for him.
The problem, you don't need him, especially because, what is it? They put Omni-Man in.
They got Peacemaker also.
Yeah, once you put Omni-Man in, though, if you've got Omni-Man, you don't need...
but still, Homelander play,
Yeah, Homelander would get the shit kicked out of him by Omni-Man. So
back in November, I bought, the whole package. So I'm like... Still waiting for this guy.
You're gonna be waiting for him.
They just added to 2K24 for WWE the ECW Punk pack, which includes the Dudley, Sandman, Punk.
Does he have blonde hair?
Who's that?
Punk.
No, regular.
I thought he had blonde hair in ECW.
No, this is a give-a pack.
Oh.
Well,
and everything giveaway pack.
Well, just so
Steve Carino.
Listen, just so everybody knows that Disney Plus, because of their anime shenanigans, there's a great anime, Code Geass, that is phenomenal. Watch it on Crunchyroll. I think they're still streaming it on Disney Plus. Unfortunately, we're gonna probably have to wait a while, but they're supposedly dropping a new season of Code Geass, and it's Disney Plus, so it'll take forever for the dubbing to start. They finally just started dubbing the episodes of Go-Go Loser Ranger, which it is phenomenal. I can't recommend that enough. And since Disney is burying their anime anyway, I kind of have to push that a little bit. And I mean, Code Geass was absolutely phenomenal. The political intrigue that went in there, along with the giant robots, it is actually a masterpiece when you watch Code Geass. It's so easy to get sucked into that one. I highly recommend everybody check that one out. And I mean, we're getting like a bunch of other anime that are coming out later on in the year.
Even Peacock's picking up on anime.
Yeah, but they just started up with some of the new season of My Hero Academia. So they just dropped. They're starting the dubs. Usually take like a week or two after some of the episodes, but they've introduced the American Hero Stars and Stripes. Mm-hmm. So it's pretty badass, I gotta say. So it's one of those things where I highly recommend, if you're not a My Hero fan, which I know somebody wanted to crap on me, even though their name on TikTok is Deku is my waifu. And thanks for leaving me a comment, but I was gonna roast you a little bit.
Is this the same guy that talked shit last time?
This was a different one talking shit. I think
I was talking shit about me.
Yeah, you had one talking shit about you and your belated information. We're
bi-weekly dipshit.
If you're watching a TikTok short or YouTube Reels and stuff, you're not going to get the full context. No. You got to listen to the episodes. And you can watch the episodes on YouTube on the Blue Dragoon 13 channel, or you can listen to us on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Podcasts, and anywhere else where your podcasting needs can be met.
And Danny, where can they reach us at?
Oh, they can email us at dragoonslairpodcast@gmail.com. That's dragoonslairpodcast, all one word, Dragoon is spelled with 2 O's. That's dragoonslairpodcast@gmail.com.
That's one.
Yep. I needed to. Thank you for setting me up on that one. But yeah, so when people want to start trashing an anime, even though your screen name has a character from that anime in there,
you're going to get Jeff Rossified.
You kind of need to get roasted a little bit on that, because it's like, wow, like, take it easy on me. Yeah, I took it easy on you. I just laughed at you a little bit.
Let me ask you a question. So how is Disney Plus acquiring all this anime? Is it because Hulu's in the equation and all.
No, they're licensing. Disney decided that they wanted to start licensing anime because, hey, it's cartoons. We need to reach a wider audience, and
Which is the one that I found? Sorry to cut you off, but which is the one I found? Did they have Demon Slayer? Or that's still Netflix, right?
Netflix actually has Demon Slayer, but the new season of Demon Slayer has started up already on Crunchyroll for the Hashira training arc. And one good thing that I will say, Netflix finally just got season 1, 2, and movie 0 for Jujutsu Kaisen, which I highly recommend. So that on Netflix is phenomenal. But Disney doesn't promote their stuff, so basically, but they want anime to be censored for the American audience. No. I've seen what you have on there. Disney needs to understand that they can't censor certain things. High School DxD already has a censored version. Nobody wants to watch the censored version of it. High School of the Dead. Nobody wants to see a censored version of it. Unfortunately, it never finished because the creator passed away. So they just kind of left it off. And the manga ended there, and that was it. So there's plenty of good stuff to watch. Disney just doesn't promote their stuff. So things are kind of ending up in limbo. And I wish they'd get out of the market they don't understand.
But again, it all comes down to dollars, so they ain't leaving anything soon.
But we can talk, if we're going to talk Disney, we got to talk X-Men 97.
Wow.
Yo.
The season finale. Now, Doug, let's get an overall opinion from you, because you just told me you just binged the whole thing.
I binged the whole thing, and I got to tell you, from the original to now, a lot more emotional. Like, you had a lot of things that you thought you'd never see.
Yep.
Are we doing spoilers here, or?
It's over. If you're going to give spoilers, just say
Rogue,
spoilers.
With Rogue just dropping that guy off the bridge, what was it, Trask?
And you hear the splat.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then you had Magneto and Rogue, getting together. And then Magneto has a change of heart. Then he goes back. And he's ready to kill everybody again. It was just an emotional roller coaster from 1 to 10.
Yeah, then they really went all out and set up season 2, which is already written, and they've already been I think they said they finished all of the voice recordings, so now we're just waiting for it to get animated.
I like when Xavier and Magneto were fighting, how Magneto put the helmet on Charles and kind of like stuck it to his head.
Yeah, it's like
a little bit.
It's like, no, you know what? I don't need to wear the helmet. You need to stop trying to fuck with my head.
And you said this last episode, correct me if I'm wrong, about Logan getting all the adamantium
Yep.
ripped right out of him. I was like, what?
And if you go back and you look at the comic book panel, it is almost identical
to the T.
Yeah. And this is going to be, and there's been a little controversy over the last episode because people are they want to play with the gender politics and sexuality, because Morph transforms into Jean and tells Wolverine that he loves him. Guess what? If you go back and you look at one of the earlier episodes with the Goblin Queen, we already know Morph is kind of all over the place sexually and attracted to Wolverine, considering the fact that it's like he's going to go jump in the shower, and it's like, really? There was already a comment that kind of leads you into that. So who cares?
Who gives a shit? It's a cart fucking dude.
Not only that, but you want representation? Great. Morph was a character that was designed primarily for the 90s cartoon anyway.
Yeah, and he was only in, 5 episodes? The first 2?
The
first one.
Gets killed in the first one.
He comes back like in the second season?
A few sporadic appearances, but yeah, it's when they were dealing with Sinister.
Yeah, that's the first time you saw him back, and after they got rid of Sinister, you never saw him again.
Yeah, they brought him
one episode.
Yeah, they brought him back for this season. So you know what? Congratulations, you have your representation, and you did it with an original character. That's great. You know what? They're not messing around with anybody, and besides, the comics have already pretty much proven that Scott, Jean, and Wolverine are in a throuple.
Oh God.
No. If you actually look at in the comics, there's a there's a map of their house.
Yeah.
So the mansion has their bedrooms are actually connected.
You're talking about the Jim Lee
Yeah.
comics, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's a lot of Genosha and that stuff.
Yeah, but there's actually like their bedrooms. Jean's bedroom is in the middle. Scott and Wolverine, the three of them, their bedrooms are connected. It's a throuple. Let's just be real on this one.
Hey, whatever floats your boat.
Yeah,
ladies and gentlemen,
but
beat you.
Now, but the way the season ended, we've got to talk about the fight between like Sinister manipulating Cable and Cable going after Jean.
Yep.
Like they were going hard.
Yeah.
And Jean coming out of nowhere, pulling out like a fragment of the Phoenix Force. You know what? We don't know when the swap happens, but you almost can assume that it either happened while she had the Phoenix Force or it was Jean was the one that was the Phoenix.
What are you talking about?
Madeline Pryor and Jean Grey.
Yeah.
No one can, they don't know who was who.
Right.
Who had the Phoenix Force.
Right.
Was it Madeline Pryor or was it Jean? Jean shows up is tapping in to the Phoenix Force, but was it Madeline who had it? Because that's what they tried to imply. So you don't know. I get it. It's confusing.
Yeah.
Well, you figure how many years and decades of the comics have we gone through it with the stories changing? Mm-hmm. Listen, they're taking elements from certain stories and they're mixing them where they make sense.
Right.
It's not like...
They're taking confusing elements that weren't really flushed out in the comic books back in the day.
Yep.
And they were saying, okay, look, we're going to try to make this make sense now.
And not only that, but they're replacing some of the characters where they fit into the story a little bit better.
Right.
I mean, Rogue switching sides and having like the change of emotions, that was done with different characters. I think they did that with Colossus, where Colossus sided with Magneto for a while.
Well, originally Rogue was with Magneto, and
yes,
then she came to the X-Men.
But I'm talking about now with the loss of Gambit. Yeah. Having the loss of Gambit, which I think they did a story with Colossus where I think he suffered like a loss and switched.
His sister.
Yeah.
Because of the virus.
Even though his sister still was back and...
Well, I don't know if it was the virus. I remember the sister got sucked into basically hell. And she was.
Yeah, there was a lot.
Yeah, she
was
on
here
for like
Inferno.
The stuff I really enjoyed too was the Sentinels. How the humans became Sentinels. Like, you know,
it was interesting, but at the same time, it was kind of cool that we had Magneto do an EMP and shut them all down.
Yeah.
But yet Bastion's the only one that's not shut down.
Yeah, Bastion.
You needed somebody to be the big bad guy. So he wasn't getting shut down.
But you see how much he loved his mom, because when he was that's what I'm saying, the emotional tone, emotional weight of the characters, the love they have for one another. You know?
Well, we saw that with everybody, but the loss, just the Genosha episode alone,
that was deep.
That one, if you didn't get any kind of emotional like pulling at the heartstrings,
you're a Sentinel.
Oh yeah,
and they were all dancing the Ace
fuck.
of Base, by the way. That was an Ace of Base song.
Of course. Well, big in the 90s. What do you expect? I mean, let's face it. Jubilee wanted to go to the mall.
Yep.
Where did they find Jubilee originally?
In the mall. In an arcade.
Yeah. So.
You know how much that game costs? Yeah, a quarter.
Yeah, not anymore.
You'd be lucky.
You'd be lucky if you can even find the arcade. But yeah, so I mean, they did a phenomenal job with this one and the setup. At the end, seeing like Scott and Jean in the future with a young Cable and
Nathan.
Yeah, so you got
Scotty's son.
Yeah, which makes me wonder: are we going to get the clones? Considering there's more than one Nathan Summers.
Right.
There is.
Yep.
Yeah,
Strife. There's the clone that doesn't have the techno-organic virus.
That's Nate Summers. That's the X-Man.
But the X-Man was from the Age of Apocalypse.
Yes.
Yeah, but
that's where the Dark Beast.
But we're also seeing Apocalypse as his old Abensur, like before he becomes like giant and purple.
Right.
So you got half the team in the past, some of the team in the future,
and Apocalypse and Genosha.
And then of course, we bring back Bishop to team up with Forge to go look for everybody.
Right.
Yeah. Talking about all this just got my brain going of that little, you see Wolverine and Deadpool jump into that little, what is it called? Doctor Strange portal.
Yep.
And you go in there. I have a feeling we're going to start seeing X-Men really, really, really soon.
Well, they got to wait until, what was it? I think 2025 was when the contracts expired so they can actually recast.
Yep.
Because unfortunately, everyone was locked into a contract, so you would have to use the same actors. And I have to...
They don't want to.
At this point, you're going to want to recast. And I saw some fan castings on like TikTok and stuff. And one of the fan castings was Giancarlo Esposito as Professor X.
Wow.
And I'm fine with that. That one could be really cool.
Yeah. The way he speaks too, it's
Oh yeah. And so there's been some good ones, but like somebody went and they picked like somebody else for Storm, and I was like, I had to respond, and I'm like, nope. There's only one person who should be Storm, and that's Jade Cargill.
Yeah.
She straight out looks like Aurora Monroe. It's like you just got to put the contacts in. She looks like she stepped straight out of a comic book. So, I mean, there's been fan castings for everything. So this is definitely something.
Decades and everything.
Yep.
AI.
Yeah.
You're seeing old actors. You're like Richard Roundtree as Falcon, Ife Koto as Kang.
Listen, when you
I
see...
can see Richard Roundtree as more of a bishop
Yeah.
than a falcon.
Well, this was an Avengers
Well, listen,
thing for the 80s.
Listen, nowadays though, if I'm going to do any fan casting, one, Jade Cargill has to be Storm. But in all honesty, I saw Method Man put out like that he wanted to be Bishop, and I could see it.
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, he's he's an actually good actor, and physically, I've seen him in the gym. And I don't mean just in the videos. This dude in his 50s deadlifting 500 pounds.
He's got a whole thing called Tikal Athletics now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when they
You mean tactical athletics?
No, Tikal Athletics. So when they were doing the tour, they stopped at Barclays.
Yep.
I talked to some of his team, and he was like, "Oh man, hope Matt doesn't see me eating this cheeseburger." He got us all on this program, so he's very, very serious.
Oh, I know.
It's no joke.
When I was able to go to the gym, it's like I would see him there all the time. Say hello. Like he was just really nice about everything. I watched some girls going like, "Oh my God, Method Man's here." I'm like, you can just go say hi. Just don't annoy him. It's like they went up. They didn't. One of the girls, she went, got a photo with him and stuff. Their friends are on like at the second floor of the gym taking pictures from above, and I'm like, as long as you're not harassing the guy, he's cool. Yeah. It's like just don't kill his workout. Yeah. Although he shows up to the gym with his own speaker, playing his own music, which I gotta admit is kind of cool because sometimes you're not feeling the music at the gym, but at the same time you don't. But you don't want to wear headphones.
Yeah.
And for what he's doing, I'm fine with it. It's like
his stuff or like just stuff he likes?
Stuff he likes.
All right.
I haven't heard him listen to his own stuff. That might seem a little like...
If you're deadlifting 500 pounds, I don't think anybody's going to fuck with you.
Oh, yeah. You see him lifting 500 pounds on the bar. I'm like, okay.
Mr. Man, thank you very much.
Yep.
You can play whatever you want.
You can pretty much do what you want. It's like, we're going to just step back. So,
I'm going to go over here and...
Good for him, though, man. Congratulations on that.
Oh, yeah. Method Man is, like I said, he has proven time and time again that he's a really good actor. Like, you see his stuff.
Invite him on here. Yeah. Go ahead. Tell him through the mic.
Anybody from the Wu-Tang.
Yeah. Now, I do want to talk about the movie that I gave you guys, Deathgasm. Mike, the look on Mike's face.
I watched it up to, listen, I'm not going to lie, I started liking it. I didn't have enough time because it was getting later in the day. Yeah. But when the band names, that's where I got to. And then there was another scene where this guy came and sliced the guy's neck.
Yep.
But I was laughing because when the guy says, "Unicorn Cannibals?" And I'm like, what? I'm like, they were...
Listen, that's actually kind of a cool name for a band.
It is. Yeah. It makes Unicorn Cannibals. With the Unicorn Cannibals.
Yeah. So now, I got to hear what Mike has to say about Deathgasm.
He's just laughing his away.
Well, it was Cannibal Unicorn was the thing that got him, but
that was one of the high points of the film.
There were plenty of high points in this film.
Yes.
I don't know. It was
Philistine.
Watching the film, I was digging it. I was into it. I was just like, and at times I'm sitting there like, what am I? How did this get made? And I'm looking at the at the credits, like, where's the producers? Give me the producers. I want to see. And I'm trying to look them up. I can't find them.
It's New Zealand.
And there you go.
It was made in New Zealand. And I mean,
you gotta go to New Zealand.
Well, listen, there's a lot, like, when you look at the stuff that's come out of like New Zealand and Australia,
a lot of the actors now come from New Zealand and Australia. I think we should just say we come from Australia.
Well, a funny little tidbit. Funny little tidbit that people don't know, you probably didn't know about Deathgasm. The two main actors, the girl, what was it? I'm trying to remember the character's name. But I know like the last name was Darcy.
Yeah.
And then the main guy, the two of them, they were both Power Ranger alumni.
Yep, they were.
Because one of them was Ziggy in Power Rangers RPM. Yeah. Comedy Gold as Ziggy. And then you had Lauren Sheba from
Medina Darcy.
Yep. Her name. Yeah. And the lead, and she actually was the one that was in Power Rangers Samurai. Technically, she came in at Super Samurai as Lauren Sheba, another Red Ranger. So she was the first like female Red Ranger, but she was only like not for a full season. So it worked out really well, like having two Power Ranger alumni for something so ridiculous. Mm-hmm. Now, Jimmy, what was your impressions?
Oh, I couldn't stop laughing at half of this horror. It was more like between you'll laugh how I'm going to say this, an episode of Treehouse of Horror where Lisa and Bart raise the dead, and they go to Homer and says, "Did you do this? No. Did you raise the dead? Yes. Okay, that's fine." But when they raised the dead, and it looked like an between Evil Dead, Dawn of the Dead, see, it was just not even Evil Dead. I mean,
Dead Alive?
No.
Return of the Living Dead?
No.
What's the TV show?
Oh.
The Walking Dead?
Walking Dead.
No.
Say iZombie.
No.
iZombie
was
good.
Which that was another Power Rangers alum.
Yeah.
Who now she's on Ghosts.
Yep.
Which I can't wait for the new season to start up again because she's got to give birth. Because you could tell she was pregnant. Mm-hmm. Rose McIver. She's a great actress, but you could tell she was pregnant when all of a sudden she's sitting behind the desk and it's like, oh, here's the desk. It's like, okay. It's like, yeah. Oh,
you get it from like nipples up.
She's in the car. So it's like, okay, so you got the car door blocking off like the lower half of her body. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we know.
We know, Rose.
You're trying to hide it. It's the old standard TV tropes and stuff.
If it works, it works.
But yeah, no, I felt like you could tell like the people that made this were fans of early Peter Jackson because one of Peter Jackson's early movies was Dead Alive.
Yeah.
And another movie that he did with Ghosts and Michael J. Fox.
The Frighteners?
Oh, yeah.
A lot of people give that movie shit. I thought it was a good movie.
That was a great movie.
The Frighteners was a really good movie. It just was at the wrong time.
Yes. Good movie, wrong time.
But like when you look at some of his earlier films, Peter Jackson's movies were crazy to begin with. Mm-hmm. But They Live, it felt like it was the New Zealand version of Evil Dead.
Yes, it did.
But the thing was, like, you see this feels like it wanted to be because Doug, you didn't get through enough of it. But when they get to the church stuff in the closet and they're fighting these like possessed humans with sex toys.
Yeah.
Church stuff pulls out a bunch of anal beads and it's like, what are these? It's like, oh, I think they're rosary beads.
I laughed my ass. I had to go back. I watched it quite a few times.
Yeah,
the rosary beads.
Yeah.
Assault with a deadly dildo.
I don't know. I started watching it and I was like, yeah, nah.
Yeah,
I'm not even lie to you, man. I wouldn't even go further than where I went.
I pity you and your.
Hey, it's all good. We all have different styles, you know.
Yeah, but this is one of those things where it just got weirder.
Yes.
And when he uses a weed whacker to cut off,
that was like watching
something else too.
Yeah,
they did that in Friday the 13th.
No, I saw it was a different movie. It was a
different movie, but it was like but cutting off the guy's dick with the weed whacker, and his buddy. It's like, pretty good at whacking guys off. Like, there were some great one-liners. Yeah. And it was just, you're sitting there and you're like, oh my God, I can't believe they're doing this.
You're like, oh my God, I can't believe it. It's like a train wreck. You can't not watch it.
Oh yeah, no. There's been a few movies that are like in this kind of vein where you sit there and you're like, "What the hell?"
And I have one that you guys are gonna have to watch. Now it's my turn to make you watch it.
All right, huh? Which one?
They Found Hell.
Is that on Amazon?
I don't know.
I need to know where I'm going to be able to find this to watch it.
And I'll let you know. It's called They Found
I'll check
Hell.
Roku and then it gives me the
I think it's
information.
Amazon.
Yeah.
Amazon and Netflix, one of those two.
They found hell.
They Found Hell.
Well, let's save any description or anything until we've gotten to that film.
Yes, They Found Hell.
I'm trying to keep it where we do one film, talk TV and stuff.
This is the next one.
Yeah, but it's like, come on, we got to admit, it was definitely a movie.
Definitely a movie that made you go. You were laughing at it, but at the same time, as you're laughing, you're like, "What the fuck am I watching?"
But you know what? It fit perfectly into where we just talked about Roger Corman earlier, and
Roger Corman probably sitting there going, "I wish I made that film." If we probably watched, like, if we go like deep into the credits, like,
somebody probably worked with Roger Corman.
Roger Corman probably, you know what? Here's a couple of bucks. Keep my name out of it. Here's a couple of bucks.
As long as it's not Uwe Boll.
Yeah. No.
Because even I'm not willing to shit on that man's movies. They're not good, but I will not say too much negative outside of that. Because I do not feel like getting challenged to a fight. Because, no, he has literally challenged people to a fight that have criticized his movies. No, they're fair criticisms. It's just... Oh God!
Like Blood Rain had a perfect. Blood Rain could have been so good.
And
it could have been so good.
The fact that there was a sequel
with Billy the Kid.
it got so weird.
Yeah, I remember
Billy
that.
the Kid was a vampire.
Uwe Boll did so many movies that were based off of video games.
You know, he was in Armageddon.
Yeah,
Bruce Willis.
Yeah, it's not surprising, but that's the thing. Uwe Boll used the tax codes for Germany that you can make a movie with a financial loss and you know it's going to lose money.
Yeah.
And he's made these movies. You sit there and you complained, Mike, about like the Sharknado movies getting made. And yet you got to look at Uwe Boll's career and see he made this stuff. Now we know it's like you got to look for certain tax codes and exemptions and stuff.
Well, Lynn has family in Germany. Maybe we can hit them up and say, "Hey, you put you down to the producer and
see if we can get some financiers,
some euro from you."
Yeah, listen, there's got to be a way to do this, but
I think you might appreciate. I actually met a really cool actor the other day in Barnes and Nobles. I went to pick up my new Nook tablet. Lo and behold, I'm like, I know this guy. Freaking Ron Canada. You guys never the butler in
you talking about this guy?
The butler in Wedding Crashes. Be careful with her. She has a bad hip.
Sorry, didn't watch Wedding Crashers.
Wasn't Adventures of Babysitting. Older guy. Just gave him all the respect.
Which one in which Adventures in Babysitting? Because there's two of them.
Original.
Wow. Okay.
Look him up, Ron Canada. Sweetheart of a guy. I gave him all the respect. I told him I really appreciate you for what you've done for us, and he was like, and I done it for you. Happy.
Some of his films. He was in The Hunted with Tommy Lee Jones.
Okay.
He was in Nick Fury, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. with the Hoff.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Getting even with that. He was in Man of the House with your friend Chevy Chase. He was in Cinderella.
Right there, Man of the House. That's another bad Chevy Chase.
That's the third one, right?
That one sucked.
He's in Cinderella Man. He was in Wedding Crashers, The American President, Home Alone, Ted 2, National Treasure, Home Alone 2.
That sounds funny. Home Alone 2,
Home Alone 2, National Treasure.
That shit worked.
He was an author.
He was an author too.
Okay, the Arthur too. Like wow, like
on the rocks.
This guy's 73 years old, so he's
yeah.
around.
Oh, he's definitely
Nice guy.
Yeah,
He's a cool guy.
Oh, listen, that's the thing. Like, there's a lot of actors that don't get the credit, and they've been in so many different things. It's impressive. Now I recognize now that I've seen him.
Yes.
So yeah. Want to just reach a little further there.
I'm showing the people who are listening on the
He's the
podcast.
cop that's in
That's
Home
for
Alone
video
2
version
to
only,
get-
folks.
Yeah, video version only.
Also, anybody
He's
up on
the cop
Hang
in
on.
Home Alone 2 that gets her in the car.
Yes.
Okay, do I have to start with when my hand goes up? Like seriously,
I barely said anything.
you're making me have to. These two are making me have to pull off the Miz, and I'm like seriously, I got to start quoting the Miz.
Oh, you don't quote our truth.
What? You don't see little Jimmy?
I'll take that shit to the bathroom.
That's where he is right now.
It's like, what? Little Jimmy's here? That I have to admit, no matter what, our truth
His comedy gold.
Ron Killings.
Is hysterical.
That man
national
can make.
treasure.
Yeah, he really is. He can make anybody break. I have never seen someone who out of nowhere says some of the things that you're like, what the? You're confused by it, but so are the people who are supposed to. They're standing next to him, and it's like, I didn't even know he was going to say that.
I like when he goes out of his way to make people break.
Yeah,
He does it all the time now.
Exactly, which is hysterical.
Sami Zayn did that with the Bloodline a lot.
Yes.
Sami Zayn did it with the bloodline, but
And he got them all to break.
oh yeah, with the he's not feeling too
You're
oozy.
not feeling too oozy, and then you see Roman Reigns.
Well, that's the thing. The oozy thing started off
As a joke.
but not only did it start off as a joke, but it became a filter on like TikTok.
Yeah.
Oozy, not oozy. I'm like, only two options for a filter, and it's like,
He got Jimmy to break so many times.
oh yeah. But no, seeing R-Truth getting some of these guys to break, getting Triple H to break when he was giving them the new tag titles, and it's like, how did you do? Like, what did you just do to the boss? Like, you could see Triple H was like walking, like he had to walk off because he's like, if I stay here anymore, I'm not going to be able to stop laughing.
I think some of the funniest breaking moments remember when Kofi Kingston was still supposed to be Jamaican?
Oh yeah, and he dropped the accent.
And Triple H looked at him and goes, "Weren't you Jamaican 2 seconds ago?" And the look on Kofi's face, he went,
Another.
he didn't know how to respond.
I've seen this video just recently when Goldust was doing his Tourette's thing to Triple H and Ric Flair.
Yeah.
They were actually cracking up.
Yeah.
That was
Oh yeah,
the whole thing.
Well, that's the thing when you watch in a movie, a TV show, like wrestling, when you see those live moments of someone breaking, it is hilarious.
The Rock broke Ludacris in, I think, Fast 7.
Oh yeah,
When he's walking into the back of the house.
hide your baby oil.
Yeah, what's his name?
Tyrese.
Tyrese goes, "Hey, you better hide your baby oil." Rock goes, "You better hide that big ass forehead." They cut back to Ludacris.
Yeah.
He does a spit take,
And that was legit. That was
legit.
Yeah.
He wasn't expecting that. And you can see Tyrese is like, oh shit.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's a Fast and the Furious movie. You weren't expecting something like that.
Same thing in X-Men First Class when they go to the bar to get Wolverine. He goes, I'm Charles Xavier. I'm Eric Lensher.
Fuck you.
Go fuck yourself.
Go fuck yourself. And the two of them look at each other, McAvoy, and they look at each other, expecting to hear cut, and they turn around and they walk out. And he just orders another drink, and he goes, "That was great."
Yep.
And it was like one of those. The two of them stuck their head back in after the director finally cut. He goes, "Do it again." He goes, "Nah, we're good."
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. It was like such a genuine response.
Right, and the director goes, because I watched like the behind the scenes.
Yeah.
On it, and the director was like, "You know what? I don't like the lines you have here. Whatever you think Wolverine would say."
Well, yeah, of course you don't like the lines. What was that, around the same time as X-Men Origins Wolverine, where they didn't even have a script?
Yeah.
It's like, here's an outline, we don't know. And right now, one of the biggest rumors that's come out is they're going to use that Deadpool. Ryan Reynolds is tapping into that post-credit sequence.
With the sewn mouth?
Because the mouth was undone.
Right.
So because at that point now it was like, shh, they're going to use that as Headpool.
That's fine. I'm okay with that. I am okay with that.
Because seeing the Deadpool variants, I'm like,
even the dog, like, oh, there's dog pool.
Dog pool, Lady
Pool.
Deadpool. Yeah, the fact that there's supposed to be Lady Deadpool which everyone is trying to figure out who is it, and they're thinking it's going to be Blake Lively.
I was going to say that.
Yeah.
You know what?
And there's rumors that Dazzler is going to be in the movie.
Yes, I heard that.
Taylor Swift. So
you know what? I am okay with having that version of Deadpool. I am okay with Blake Lively being
Lady Deadpool.
And you know what? I am okay with Taylor Swift being Dazzler because she looks the part.
Yeah.
She looks the part. Well, she can act the part in a different story. But if you were to cast somebody solely on how they look in the comic books, Taylor Swift, I would say it'd be a 90% match.
Well, yeah, there's something that has to be said, like when you see some of the actors or musicians when they go on Saturday Night Live, especially the musicians when they get involved in the sketches, you can see who's got some acting chops and stuff. I mean, like, what was it? Recently, Sabrina Carpenter was on. That girl is hilarious. Mm-hmm. When she was a kid on Girl Meets World, she really was probably one of the funniest characters on the show. And I give her so much credit because she, like, the things she did on there were so entertaining that you were just like, you couldn't look away. And her going off and now focusing on music, but you could tell she can still pull off some of this comedy stuff from her Saturday Night Live appearance. It's like, you're like, you know what? I kind of want to, you're like, I kind of want to see them do a little more. Mm-hmm. And that's perfectly fine. You know, sometimes it's good to expand. There's some people who need to stay in their lane.
Yep. But
when you see like somebody's doing like really good acting and they can also sing, Ryan Reynolds is somebody where you were like, he can sing?
He can?
Yeah.
Same thing with Russell Crowe.
A lot of people, what was it? He was on The Masked Singer, but not the American version.
Oh.
Like the original. Like over, what was it?
UK?
Yeah. No, Japan? Like he was in like one of the Asian versions of it.
Okay.
Like, and he was singing The Sun Will Come Out Tomorrow.
Really?
Yeah. He can sing. So you're like, oh, dude, Ryan Reynolds can sing. Like, what can this man not do?
Listen, he was singing to Betty White every year for her birthday.
Yeah.
And you could hear his chops.
And that's the thing. He can sing. It really makes you question, what can he not do? Mm. So there's a level of talent that people have.
What can he do? Save the DCEU.
He didn't want to. And you can't blame him for not wanting to.
Not at all. I can't blame him at all.
If you change the script on an actor in the middle of, like, you sold him on this is what you're going to be doing.
And throw him a curve.
And then it's like,
oh, by the way, we're changing the story.
We completely changed the script. It's like, in all honesty, if they would have gone and they wanted to do Green Lantern and use Ryan Reynolds,
Kyle Rayner.
It should have been Kyle Rayner.
Yeah.
It's like he's not Hal Jordan.
Nathan Fillion.
Yep, which this is going to be interesting for the new DCEU because he's playing Guy Gardner. We're going to see Nathan Fillion as Guy Gardner.
I'd want to see him as Hal Jordan.
No kidding.
Give somebody else Guy Gardner.
And the thing is, Guy Gardner's the Green Lantern everyone hates. Mm-hmm. It's like he's the one that...
For a while, everybody hated him, but I think after a while, he kind of...
It grew on you like a plague.
It grew on you.
Like a plague.
My worries are... when you shove too many characters in one movie, it overloads it.
Yep.
Just put what you need to put in there, and that's it.
Well, that's the thing. When you take a look at what they're talking about for Deadpool and Wolverine, there's going to be a lot of cameos, different characters, and it's going to fit. Because
they're cameos.
Yeah. But Ryan Reynolds will also make it work.
Right.
But when you go and you take a look at, like, just looking at the DCEU, Batman v Superman. That one movie alone was one of the biggest disappointments because they did too much.
It should have stopped at Batman versus Superman. Yeah. Leave it alone.
We didn't need
Wonder Woman.
Well, you could have Wonder Woman as a cameo, but the fact that she became a bigger player in it. And then it's like, oh, by the way, here's Doomsday.
I said this.
Why did we need Doomsday?
Yeah, you should have done
exactly.
If they wanted to set up the whole big DCEU, you should have had Batman versus Superman. Have the two of them go at it. Then in the third act, you have Batman find out, okay, this is the person behind everything pulling the strings. Batman came into Superman. They go fight the big bad, which didn't have to be Lex Luthor at the time. He could have been the secret bad.
Yeah, well, considering the fact that they had Jesse Eisenberg as Lex Luthor with a jar of pee.
Yeah, that was grandma's peach cobbler.
Yeah, it was like it's a jar of piss.
Yeah.
Like, seriously, this was dumb.
They did too much.
They also screwed one very major point that everyone forgets. Batman is supposed to be the greatest detective in all of the DC universe.
How did he not know? Why did you say that name?
Yeah, it's like you didn't know. You know Clark Kent is Superman.
And if you know what his mother's name was.
But I like the way when they did the animated version of World's Finest, how Batman figured out.
Well, that was the thing
he looked at who Superman was.
Well, because you figured they did a great job with that, because it was Superman looks at him and is like Bruce Wayne, because he uses X-ray vision. Right, and see, like, underneath the cowl. You peeked, and so he went.
He throws him across the room.
Yeah, but he put a tracker on him, so he found out where he was.
But then he's like 4 miles away on a rooftop, and he's like, "Ha!"
It's like, yeah, I got you.
I got you, bitch.
It's like, you peeked, so did I.
Although, jumping on the Batman bandwagon for a minute, if you're gonna list everybody who did the voice, of course, Kevin Conroy is number one. My top three: Kevin Conroy, Bruce Greenwood, and then Peter Weller.
Okay, I can see that. I can't really make a decision on all of like who's done the voice for Batman. You know, it's always going to be Kevin Conroy is going to be number one. Mm-hmm. There's no question about that one.
He's so far ahead of everybody else.
There has never been anyone like him.
Nope.
I will say I have liked Jensen Ackles, what he's been doing so far. So I can't put him out of the running. I forget who did the voice for the Batman, the animated series, and that one was it
was okay.
It was okay, but it also, you could tell it was made for a younger audience compared to Batman the animated series.
Yeah, it might have started off that way, but as Batman the animated series evolved, it kind of took more of an adult tone to it. I wasn't too crazy the animation style when they did the Adventures of Batman and Robin.
Well, they made a few changes because they were also trying to mix it in with Superman the animated series, which it was all right.
It was okay.
But they never wrapped up the loose ends. Even when they went into Justice League, they didn't really wrap up. Like, people still didn't trust Superman because he was already turned by Darkseid at the end of the Superman animated series.
Do you know what the original ending for Justice League was supposed to be?
I think it was actually supposed to be the Batman Beyond episode.
Yeah, that was the Batman Beyond episode, but the people were like, you can't end
on Batman.
You can't end on Batman. You have to end it on Justice League because that's what it is. And they're like, no, this wraps everything up. Because you even hear, old Bruce Wayne goes, Kent called, nothing apocalyptic, and needs your help. And
he's going with the future version of the Justice League. So, yeah.
Dad? Son?
Yeah.
With the Jon Stewart.
Yeah. Well, that was a different future.
Yes.
It's like, Schiavo,
you should have seen the side of the egg.
He's kidding. leave it to Static to make that joke.
That was funny.
Yeah. And the best part about that was Phil Lamar talking to himself as Jon Stewart and Static.
Yeah.
I mean, and if you listen to the way he did Jon Stewart's voice, he just is this deep bass baritone. It rivals James Earl Jones. But if you see Phil Lamar, you're like, where's your older brother who does all the voices?
Well,
wasn't he also
he was Samurai Jack
in Pulp Fiction? He was on.
He was. He gets killed in the back of the car.
Oh man, I shot Marvin in the face.
Yeah. But that's the thing. When you look at Phil Lamar's career, his voice work. He's done his live action stuff. He was always great on Mad TV.
Oh yes.
But when you look at that voice-over career,
forget it.
His credits keep going, and he hasn't stopped.
No.
And he does such a great job with the range that he has. Mm-hmm. And it's iconic characters. You figure Static Shock, Jon Stewart, Samurai Jack.
Yeah.
You're sitting there, you're like, Samurai Jack was him. Then you're sitting there, you're looking, and it's like, he's Hermes on Futurama.
Yeah.
He's all over the place.
He was doing 3 voices at once.
Yeah.
At one point of his career.
And that's the thing. Voice actors don't get the credit that they deserve because there's so much more than just doing a voice. It requires actual acting skills. So, I want to wrap this up with thanking the voice actors and giving credit where credit's due to them because they're unsung heroes when it comes to their acting career because everybody always thinks of the on-screen talent first. Yeah. And sometimes the vocal talents are, if not as important, maybe very well more important. Because when you actually look at it, the voice actors are the ones that typically shape your childhood.
Yeah.
Because if you're growing up watching an animated series, those actors behind those characters, most of us may not remember a lot of the live action stuff.
Their name, but you know their voice.
Yeah, you know the voice. And one of the funniest things is I was hanging out with my brother last week, and I had him watch Store to School. So we're watching that, and I had forgot Rob Paulson was in that, playing one of the flight attendants. And that was a live action performance from a guy who is such a prolific voice actor that he's been 2 different Ninja Turtles.
Yep.
Multiple characters in Animaniacs. Pinky and the Brain.
A lot of people laughed that Shaggy
was Casey Kasem.
Was Casey Kasem, and even Robin on the Super Friends.
Yeah,
and did his American Top 40 show in between.
Yeah.
So it's like I said, voice actors just don't get the credit that they deserve, and they really should.
Yeah.
So
Just quick about voice acting.
Oh, here we go.
Remember Darkwing Duck?
Of course, Jim Cummings.
Jim Cummings. Met him at a Chiller.
I met him at Kineticon.
And, I got his autograph, and he goes, Mike, stay dangerous, DW. And then he signed. But anyway, I go, my favorite line I ever did was in Darkwing Duck when, I am the terror that flaps in the night. He goes, I am the missing screw from your easy-to-assemble swing set. And he starts laughing, and he's like, yeah, about those little one-offs. He goes, originally they started writing for me. And when the story first came out, they wrote in, but he goes, I never did it anyway. So what they would do as the show went on, he goes, I am the terror that flaps in the night. And then they put in parentheses, doesn't matter what we write here, Jim's going to say whatever he wants anyway.
Yep. Well, when I met him, I told him I got in trouble as a kid for repeating lines from Darkwing Duck. Yep. And he said, it's like, yeah, that was one of the notes I got. Make sure you hit the G in suck gas, evildoers. Suck gas. Because my mom as a kid, she thought I was saying suck ass. I was like, no, jeez. It's like, well, but
Darkwing was such a great character.
Oh yeah, and I got to take one little jab at my mom because I love my mom to death, and she supported me going through and majoring in film in college, knowing that it was probably a bad idea.
Yeah.
And I got to give her credit for that, but at the same time, my mom can't remember any celebrities' names, so she pronounces everything incorrectly. So if I ever start saying names incorrectly,
blame it on her.
Oh, it's because of her. Because I know Jimmy Kimmel. I know it's pronounced Kimmel. My mom, for some reason, adds B's in there, so he's Jimmy Kimball.
Okay.
I love my mom. I would love to have her on the show, but she will never do it. And it is one of those comedy moments of when you're around somebody that's going to pronounce things incorrectly, and it really is annoying when you're someone like myself who I have to now correct it, and they don't like being corrected. So it's, got to do what we can, but oof. I'm surprised I wasn't hit a lot more as a child. And I was beaten quite a bit.
Yeah, we can see it. We can see the scars.
Well, you can see the ones on the outside. The insides those are a little more emotional. Yeah, those emotional cuts.
They run deep.
So, Doug, anything you want to add before we wrap things up?
Music. Anybody into any new music lately?
No.
Crickets.
Yeah, no. I mean, I got to check out because I know Victoria Justice just dropped a new song that started streaming. I've loved some of her independent tracks that she's been dropping on Spotify, so I got to check that one out. It just came out, but I haven't had a chance to listen to it yet. Otherwise, I just kind of fall in my hole of Five Finger Death Punch.
My friend Nick just dropped a a new song on iTunes. He's been dropping he does work at Birdland in the city, and he's a jazz singer, crooner, and everything. And he just did Beyond the Sea. If everybody remembers that from back in the day,
Bobby Darin, right?
Yes, and he did his rendition, and it's phenomenal. Really, really great job.
New Ghostface Killer dropped May 10th. Was amazing, and he went with Mass Appeal, who did the last 3 Nas albums, Nas records. And let me tell you something, Ghost got something special with this one.
Oh, yeah.
And I hope he stays with Mass Appeal, because just everything from the production to the writing, everything crisp.
Yeah.
And of course, I'm stuck on last year's Foo Fighters album until the next one comes out. Can't go wrong.
And we know Mike is still stuck back in the 80s.
No, man.
The music was off.
Yes.
Of course it was.
He plays a mixture of stuff,
Yeah, but for the most part, it's going to be the 80s. I know Mike all too well that it's primarily going to be 80s. But then again, I'm kind of the same way. I'm going to stick with what I like.
Yeah.
I have to say, my ex, she made a lot of comments about, don't you listen to anything new? I'm like,
no.
Yes, but nothing that you like.
Right.
I'm like, I
like new stuff from the old guys.
Yeah. I like a lot of the old stuff from the old guys because they knew what they were doing.
Yeah.
I'm not going to sit there and listen to a bunch of people that it's like you're remaking the same thing, just changing some of the lyrics and speeding up the song. It's literally the same song over again. Although there's been some good covers.
Oh, yeah.
I got to say, what was it? The Disturbed cover of Sound of Silence and that remix that was done off of it.
I didn't hear the remix, but I heard the cover. I was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Yes.
The Sound of Silence that was covered by Disturbed was amazing, but there's a remix that it took it to a different level. So it the song still works, but it made it more for accessible for people who didn't want the slower song. So I got to give him a lot of credit for that. And normally I'm not a big fan of too many remixes, but that was one that you're just like, whoa.
Yep.
So Mike, you want to tell everybody how they can reach you and get in touch with the podcast?
Okay. If you want to get in touch with the podcast, you can follow us on Facebook at Dragoon Slayer Podcast. If you want to hit us up on Instagram, you can follow us at, oddly enough, the Dragoon Slayer Podcast. Instagram. I know, it's amazing. If you want to follow me, you can follow me on Instagram at Hamster Pellet Productions, also on Facebook at Hamster Pellet Productions, and at Michael Schiavo on Facebook.
And he's on TikTok, but he doesn't do anything because I send him videos and he never responds.
I'm on TikTok.
Jackass.
I don't have
There's
the
some
ticking of the
funny
clock.
ass
Yes, you
videos
do.
you keep sending.
There's a hamster pellet.
There is?
Yeah. You completely forgot that you even
Yeah. I don't use TikTok.
Yep. You've been sending some funny ass videos.
Of course I have. I think did I send you the video of feeding my vegan sister's baby?
Barely on socials.
I had to send that one to Mike through Messenger because I needed to make sure he saw that. The little baby's face of having the barbecued ribs. Oh my!
Euphoric.
That kid.
Ribs are good.
Yes, but that kid was. It's like the parents are vegan, so you're seeing this kid tasting the ribs, and the face going from nom 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 nom. Oh, the smile just got bigger and bigger.
Well, it's like what Dennis Leary said: meat tastes like murder, and murder tastes pretty goddamn good.
Damn straight. So Jimmy, how can everybody get in touch with you?
Snapchat, James SI0925. Instagram and Threads, James H_4th. Facebook, James Haynes the 4th. And TikTok, James0925. And yes, I've been watching you.
And don't forget his OnlyFans at Huge Cocklover 69.
Go fuck yourself, Mike.
I have nothing to say to that, but Jimmy, aren't you in some kind of competition?
Yes, I am. And you too can, if you have Facebook, you can register in if you go to favoritechef.com/2024/James-Haynes-IV.
follow him on Facebook. He's promoting it. You'll be able to.
It's Facebook and Instagram.
Yeah.
And my profile.
Yeah, you'll be able to click on the link and vote for Jimmy on that one. Doug, how can anybody get in touch with you if they so feel inclined?
Instagram only. Beard in New York. Instagram only. Beard in New Yorker. 79 HTC. Thank you.
Carrier pigeon. Pony Express.
You're gonna keep going, aren't you?
Follow Mike on Pornhub.
I'll just wait till he has that shit day because I'm right there with him and I'll be right in his grill. Don't worry.
Yep. And you can follow me on Blue Dragoon 13 on Instagram, TikTok, on Twitch. You can, where there's a link to the Discord page where you can join the community. And if we get enough people there, we'll be able to do some community events and stuff. We're trying to figure out for a live show that we can post up for you guys, and maybe we can have some more fan interactions. But remember, you can also watch the show on Blue Dragoon 13 YouTube channel. You can follow us on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcast, Amazon Podcast. This way, make sure you leave us a like, a follow, leave a review. It helps everybody find the show and bring more people in, because you all want to be part of these conversations, because where are you going to find people that are going to entertain you and literally give you someone to laugh at? Because you could literally look at probably any one of us and just be like, I'm glad I'm not these guys. Yeah. So
for yourself, I'm glad.
But make sure if you join in on the conversation, you can always send us an email at dragoonslairpodcast@gmail.com. That's all one word, dragoons. Fucking Jimmy. I'm watching him out of the corner of my eye, and he just, son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Dragoon is spelled with 2 O's.
He's going to have to edit this out now.
No, I'm not. I'm leaving this in because I want to call him a son of a bitch on there, and now I've done it multiple times.
We actually got a couple new followers on the Instagram that I want to give a shout out.
Okay, well, let me just redo the Dragoon's Lair podcast at gmail.com. Dragoon is spelled with 2 O's, all one word, Dragoon's Lair podcast at gmail.com.
Okay, so
And you need, hang on one second, and let me do the ending of the show today without chiming in. Please. It is my catchphrase after all.
Get like an electric zapper or something.
I don't want to have to pay for the dog shock collar.
Yeah.
Because then I have to crank up the voltage.
I'll be laughing my ass off.
Yes, but then I'm afraid he'd wet the chair. Puppy Pete on my new sofa.
We can put a bunch of pads under them.
Okay, so now our new followers on Instagram. I'd like to give a shout out to Chelsea Fawcett. Worked with her. Very cool girl. Thank you for following us.
Thank you.
Jamie Lynn worked, again, another teacher I worked with at 61. Thanks for following.
Thank you.
Dana Mahoney. Yes, another teacher that I worked with. Thank you very much for following.
Thank you.
Dane. How do you say Dane's last name? Dane. How do you say
Forgione.
Forgione. Dane. Cool dude. Didn't teach with him, but I directed him in Murder on the Orient Express. Very cool guy. Marta Organizzo. Guess what? I work with her. Very cool. Thank you for following.
So apparently we have a good base with teachers.
Yeah. Yeah, they probably play us for their class. This is what not to do.
And if you follow Dan on TikTok, he'll give you a great recipe for chicken fried bacon.
Oh, yeah, that was a good recipe.
Yes.
Chicken fried bacon.
Yeah.
Chicken fried bacon.
Oh,
It doesn't sound good.
No. If you see how it's made,
Chicken bacon.
think of it like you're making bacon and then you're making like a chicken cutlet.
Mm-hmm.
So you're frying it, batter, like it.
And then you put the bacon in it.
The bacon is in the batter, and then fried.
All right.
It
I
is.
thought it was like something like turkey bacon.
No. If you sit there and you look at, it's basically the equivalent of you made some bacon, but you didn't like make it too crispy. Mm-hmm. Put it in the batter, fry it. It's almost like a chicken cutlet.
Okay.
Just watch.
Yep. But keep the volume low.
Oh, yeah.
Do your outro one more time without James' hands going up.
I know. And with that being said, folks, you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. Now get out.
Later.
Chicken bacon.